We are getting live visuals from Ayodhya right now, where Prime Minister Modi has he's reaching. India's Prime Minister is set to reach, in fact, the brand new Ayodhya airport any time from now. So we will get back to you, Doctor. But for our viewers who have just joined in, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to reach the brand new Ayodhya airport any time now, and the airport has been named as the Maharishi Valmiki International Airport. And just moments earlier, Prime Minister Modi also inaugurated the new Ayodhya Dham railway station, and both the railway station and the airport have elements which resemble the architecture of the Hindu temples. And as you can see, viewers, on your visuals, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived, and he's all set to inaugurate the newly redeveloped and the newly built airport. And right now with us, we have Siddhant Sibul, our correspondent, joining us. Siddhant, another step towards, after inaugurating the newly redeveloped railway station, Narendra Modi has now reached the airport to inaugurate the Valmiki Airport in Ayodhya.
Well, yes, and the Prime Minister is now waving even as he is about to inaugurate this airport, and we see a large sitar as well behind me, but behind the Prime Minister. Now, of course, the name of the airport is the Maharishi Valmiki Airport, and he was the legendary poet who was the traditional author of Ramayana. So essentially, there is a lot of symbolism associated. Now, this is the second infrastructure project he inaugurates today. He has already inaugurated the railway first phase and the trains as well. And now the Prime Minister, of course, has reached that location where the airport will be inaugurated. And remember, this is the airport whose visuals we all have seen. It has a number of murals of Ramayana and, of course, the linkages with, of course, Hindu tradition. So shortly, the big airport here in Ayodhya, which will be inaugurated, is the big focus. But essentially, when it comes to the focus today is development priorities. Now, at the airport, this is the newly built Ayodhya airport, and it is the first phase, and approximately 1,400 crore rupees have been invested to build the state-of-the-art airport, which is inspired by the Sri Ram Mandir. So, focus is on building infrastructure, connectivity, even as the civic facilities have been ramped up in this important city.
Yes, and Siddhant, it's also very interesting to note that both the airport and the railway station both have elements which resemble the architecture of Hindu temples.
That is quite obvious. We can see, of course, the strong linkages at the airport and at the railway station when it comes to Hindu epics. So that is expected, and that is natural as well.
Are in Ayodhya for the events lined up. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is monitoring everything ahead of, in fact, he was monitoring everything ahead of Prime Minister Modi's visit. And in fact, this goes to show how much importance is attached to this project and the exercise.
There is a lot of focus today on development projects and how the city is being built. Even as the temple will be inaugurated next month. Now, today is the focus when it is the development projects, railways, and of course the airport. But essentially, there will be foundation stones which will be laid when it comes to the city. They will be focused on cultural heritage and conservation, also a green tree township and residential schemes. There are other projects also slated across UP that will be inaugurated, and foundation stone being inaugurated by the Prime Minister. Key day, it's being dubbed as the day when, of course, the pole bugle will be essentially played up, and we know that in the next 2 months, India will be gearing for the big elections that will be announced approximately in March or approximately around in April.
And now Ayodhya's Veena Chowk is a famous landmark located in the heart of Ayodhya city in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. And this is for our viewers. Just to set some context, Veena in local Hindi dialect translates to bridge. And this chowk is located at the intersection of the two major bridges in the city. And to talk more about the new airport, the newly redeveloped airport, Ayodhya Airport. Now, phase 1 of this state-of-the-art airport is developed at a cost of more than rupees 1,450 crore. And the airport's terminal building will have an area of 6,500 square meters, which is equipped to serve about 10 lakh passengers annually. And the facade of this terminal building depicts the temple architecture of the upcoming Sri Ram Mandir of Ayodhya. And even the interiors of the terminal building are decorated with local art, paintings and murals depicting the life of Bhagwan Sri Ram. And these visuals on your screen, viewers, are coming live from the airport, from the Valmiki Airport in Ayodhya, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be inaugurating the airport shortly. Now, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on his way, and the airport has been named as the Maharishi Valmiki International Airport. And just moments earlier, Prime Minister Modi also inaugurated the new Ayodhya Dham railway station, and both the railway station and the airport have elements which resemble the architecture of Hindu temples. And several union ministers are in Ayodhya for the events lined up. Now, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has been monitoring everything ahead of Prime Minister Modi's visit, and that undoubtedly displays how much importance and significance is attached to this project and the exercise. And I will also quote what Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote on social media platform X on Friday. He wrote that our government is determined to develop a world-class infrastructure, improve connectivity and preserve the rich heritage of Ayodhya, the city of Lord Sri Ram. And in this direction, I will inaugurate the newly constructed airport and redeveloped railway station. And now we will go back to Dr. Makarand Paranjpe, as we were already talking a short while ago. Doctor, now, let's talk about the airport, the state-of-the-art airport, and it is developed at a cost of more than rupees 1,450 crore. And it is very interesting, and, to see a holy city of Ayodhya in India to have an airport which is which alleviates the infrastructure of the city to an extent, and at the same time does not lose its roots. Its heritage is still preserved on the walls of the airport. The interiors are decorated in a way that reflects the essence of the holy city of Ayodhya. I think, if I may say so, it can only be seen in India.
Absolutely. When you enter such a place, you're already in that mood, in that spiritual mood. But what's really important here is how this reflects a sea change in our planning. Normally what happens is we plan something, whether it's a flyover or a bridge, and by the time it's completed, it's already inadequate. The crush of humanity, the traffic, whatever it is, the people it's supposed to serve, that exceeds the planning. But here they're planning for the future. Now, this is really, really important because all of us have been to cities like Banaras earlier. The airport was in such a bad shape. You had to wait for hours, just to get your check-in and security done. It was not even clean. So all this revamping and refurbishing and renovation of these ancient sites. See, Banaras is thousands of years old. It's supposed to be one of the oldest cities. It's also the PM's constituency. But all these places he's been associated with, Vadodara, where he once fought an election, all these airports have improved. And ease of travel also means ease of doing business, because once you have a large airport, you need a number of people to maintain it. You have construction companies, service, sector jobs,
Yes,
plenty.
and Doctor, I would like to ask you one last question. Now, as billions of dollars are being pumped into the temple city of Ayodhya, what effect is this expected to have on the footfall of pilgrims?
You believe me, there'll be millions of people visiting. It's going to be a huge success, just as the Statue of Unity was. And thousands and millions of people are going to line up not only to see the temple, but to reconnect with Ayodhya. And this has been the Indian way. Go to the Kumbh Mela, there are millions of people who go. And many of them are completely different from the people we meet every day. Once you go there, you'll see what the real India is like. So I predict that Ayodhya will also be similar, and there'll be millions of footfalls. And when you create a big monument, whichever monument you create, there are millions of people who are curious to see it, whether it's the Vatican, whether it's Jerusalem, whether it's Mecca, though it's restricted to only people who follow that faith. When you have a huge significance like this in a big monument, whether it's Angkor Wat in Cambodia, millions and millions of people are going to flock to this place, and the costs will be recovered, I think, manifold.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Really appreciate you joining us, and thank you for staying with us.